Good day, everyone. Today, I want to share my thoughts about compassion, what it means, how we can express it in caring for others and for the environment, and the role of communal discernment in making our school, our communities, and even the world a more compassionate place. Compassion is something that we often hear about in school, in church, or even at home. But sometimes we forget to reflect on what it truly means in our everyday lives. We live in a time when people are facing so many struggles, whether it's poverty, climate change, or even simple personal challenges like stress and loneliness. In these moments, compassion becomes not just an ideal but a necessity. When we hear the word compassion, we often think of kindness, generosity, or helping people who are in need. But for me, compassion goes beyond kindness. It is the ability to put yourself in the shoes of another person, to feel their struggles as if they were your own, and to respond with genuine care and action. Compassion is not only an emotion, it is also a choice and a responsibility. And so, in my sharing today, I hope we can see compassion not just as a word but as a way of life, something that we can practice in small ways every single day. What is compassion? Let me begin by explaining compassion in my own words. Compassion means to suffer with or to feel with. It is not the same as pity or sympathy. When you pity someone, you feel sorry for them from a distance. But when you feel compassion, you are moved to act, you want to ease their pain, uplift their spirit, or simply be present in their struggle. For example, imagine a classmate who is struggling with their studies. If you only pity, you might just think, "Oh, that's sad." But if you feel compassion, you may offer to help them review, share your notes, or even just encourage them not to give up. Compassion moves us to step in, to share a part of ourselves for the good of others. I also believe compassion is not limited to huge or dramatic acts. It can be as simple as listening when someone needs to talk, offering a smile to a stranger, or choosing to speak with respect even when you are upset. These little actions, when repeated every day, create a culture of care and understanding. Compassion in caring for the environment. Compassion does not only apply to our relationship with people. It also includes how we relate to the world around us, especially the environment. After all, the earth is our common home, and the way we treat it affects everyone, especially future generations. When we practice compassion for the environment, we show that we care not only for ourselves today, but also for the well-being of others tomorrow. For example, reducing our waste, conserving water, conserving energy, or joining tree planting. Activities may seem small, but they reflect our compassion for both people and nature. Think about it. When we throw a garbage in the river, it doesn't just disappear. It affects marine life, it causes flooding in communities, and it harms the health of people. But when we protect and respect nature, we are showing compassion to farmers, fisher folk, and ordinary families who depend on a healthy environment to live. Compassion and caring for others. Compassion is more than just a kind of word or a nice gesture. It is the ability to notice another person's struggle, to recognize their dignity, and to respond with respect and care. When we practice compassion, we remind people that they are matter, that their feelings, their stories, and their lives are important. And here's the beautiful part. Compassion doesn't always demand big sacrifices. It can be as simple as helping a classmate who is stressed, sharing notes with a friend who missed class, or encouraging someone who feels like giving up. Even in the ordinary moments of our day, like being patient in long lines, greeting our teachers and staff with respect, or taking time to listen when someone needs to talk, we already express compassion. These little actions, though small, can lighten someone's burden more than we realize. But compassion also pushes us beyond our comfort zone. It challenges us not only to care for our circle of friends, but also extend care to strangers and even to those who may be different from us. When we see poverty on the streets, when we hear stories of discrimination on or when we encounter injustice, compassion tells us, don't ignore this, don't look away. Instead, it calls us to ask, what small step can I take to make this situation better? It could be sharing a meal, volunteering for a cause, or even using our voice to defend those who cannot speak for themselves. Because compassion is not just a feeling, it is a love in action. It is a kindness translated into choices that can change lives even the smallest of ways. And the truth is, the world does not only need brilliant minds or talented hands. The world also needs compassionate hearts. People who see beyond themselves and are willing to lift others up. That is why in every space we move in, our homes, our schools, our communities, compassion must be lived, not just spoken about. When compassion becomes part of who we are, it creates ripples of kindness that can transform not just individual but entire communities. The role of communal discernment. Now, compassion becomes even more powerful when joined with something we call communal discernment. Communal discernment means coming together as a group to reflect, to listen, and to decide on what is the best for everyone, not just for a few. It is not as simply about majority wins or personal interests. It is about seeking the common good guided by respect, compassion, and shared values. Why is this important? Because no single person holds all the wisdom. Each of us uses lives from a different angle, shaped by our own experiences, but when we listen to one another, when we put our ideas together, and when we consider especially the needs of the most vulnerable, we arrive at decisions that are fairer, wiser, and more humane. Think about it in the context of a university. If only the administrations make decisions, students may feel left out. But if students, instructors, administrators sit together and listen, then solutions like how to make education more affordable, more accessible, and more inclusive become possible. In a local community, communal discernment might mean neighbors and leaders deciding how to use resources, ensuring that no family is left behind and that fairness becomes the standard. And on a global level, imagine if nations truly listened to one another. Instead of competing for power, they would work together to solve pressing issues like climate change, world hunger, and peace building. Because when countries act only for themselves, the world suffers. But when they choose to discern together, guided by compassion, humanity as a whole benefits. Without communal discernment, decisions may become selfish, benefiting only a few, but with it grounded in compassion, we can create communities where dignity is honored, fairness is practiced, and no one is left behind. As I close, let me bring everything together. Compassion is more than an emotion. It is action born from empathy and understanding. It is the daily choice to care, to respect, and to lift others up in ways both big and small. But compassion is strongest when combined with communal discernment. Because while compassion inspires us to care, discernment teaches us to care wisely. Always keeping the common good at heart. With compassion and discernment, our schools can become places of support and understanding. Our communities can grow into spaces of fairness and cooperation. And our world can become more just, more humane, and more united. So, my challenge for all of us is this: let us not only talk about compassion, let us live it every single day, in our words, in our action, in our decision. Let compassion and discernment be our guide, because in the end, it is not titles, wealth, or achievements that people will remember most about us. It is how we made them feel, how we lifted them up, and how we live out compassion in our own simple ways. Together, through compassion and communal discernment, we have the power to build a world that is not only brighter, but also kinder, fairer, and more humane. Thank you for listening.